Hello, hello. Good morning, good morning. It's a little after 8:30 in the morning here on the 29th of February 2024. It's Leap Day and we've got a lot going on as per usual. What I'd like to do is focus on Cardano today. Before I get into all of this, as you all know, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You are responsible for your own risk, managing your own risk, doing your own research, and this is just my opinion on the market. So, okay, I'm going to take a look at Cardano, as I mentioned. We're going to be focusing on the weekly chart for the time being. And what I want to do is try and get some kind of a projection for where the market can go into 2024, 2025. So we're looking at, if we're in a bull run now, which, I think we all agree that Bitcoin is in a bull run. Altcoins are keeping up, but at some point, altcoins are going to start popping, probably pretty big time, because there is a chance that this run on Bitcoin is going to be the last run that it gets for 5 to 10 years. So the run that we're having right now is probably one of the last opportunities to really harness some exponential gains in crypto. All right, so for Cardano in particular, what I really want to focus on is this low back here. This was at almost, almost 1.5 cents, and going up to the high here, which was basically at $3.15. So let's just go ahead and measure that move. So that move was about 1,800%. I would say that's pretty significant. But where are we, or where can we go from here? Now, there's a few different ways to come up with a projection. So I'm going to talk about a few of those different ways to make a projection for where we could go. And with Bitcoin making a new high, we really, really need to see a lot of these alts also make new highs in due time. And I think that's actually a pretty important part of the cycle. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my fib retrace tool, and instead of going from your first pivot to your second pivot, I'm going to go from my second pivot back to my first pivot, and there is where I'm going to get one potential target. It's going to be right here at about $5.80. So I'm just going to mark that on the chart. That's going to be one target to pay attention to. I'm going to remove the fib pull because I don't want to completely clutter my chart. The next thing I'm going to do is, again, using my fib tool, because we're trying to look into the future and use prior price action to make a determination for where we're going to go. And fib tools are really one of the only ways, Ichimoku Cloud is another one, but fib tools are one of the only ways to look at where things could go in the future. And I use all of those words intentionally. Where could it go in the future? There is no certainty as to where it will go. It's only where it could go. So something I want to point out here. So I've taken my dominant pivot low, my dominant pivot high, and I'm going to take a look at the pullback, what we've gotten so far. I'm going to pull this guy over here. I just want to point out something really important. We were not able to break down below the 50 on this, and that was at about 23 cents, roughly. Okay? We were not able to break below that, right? We tried to get to it here, we didn't get there. We poked it here, and it did not close below that, and we couldn't get to it here as well. So the upside target for that is about $10.60. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark that guy. Okay, so I've got two targets up there for the time being, and I think that 50% retrace is pretty important. All right, so now let's take a look at the current move that we've got going on right here. So again, what I'm going to be focusing on now is more of this price action right here and what has happened and what could happen from this. Again, I'm going to use my fib tool. I'm using my trend-based fib extension. I'm going to measure this dominant pivot low, this dominant pivot high, and I'm going to get to this pullback right here. So in the short term, right, we would expect that we've got, and we're going to be talking Elliott wave here as well just a little bit. We would expect from this low to this high and this pullback, we would expect to move to the 1618 for a wave 3. And that looks like that's exactly what happened, right? So we've got a 1, 2, and then you can see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that passed the 1618. And then we have a correction, and now that we have surpassed this high, there is a decent degree of probability we will go to the 2618 or higher. Now, the 2618 is right here at about $1. We'll just call it $1, right? So this is what I would consider a shorter term target. We've got a level right here, which I'll pay attention to for a wave 5. And if for some reason we do get an extension, I would probably look for a move to roughly about right here as an extension. Now that's not based off of this fib level here at the 3618. I'm looking to the left. I'm looking at these candle body opens and closures right here, going back here to these areas of resistance. And so I would say that somewhere in here is likely going to be where Cardano's probably going to stop right now. So this is going to be between $1 and maybe $1.50. So I'm going to put those right there. And what I'm expecting this to be, just in case you haven't gathered, this is looking to me like a 1, and then a 2, and then a 3, and then a 4, and then we're going up for this wave 5. And this wave 5, to me, it looks more like a wave 1, like a larger wave 1. Okay? Or this could be a larger wave A. There's nothing wrong with this being a wave A, right? Going into an A, B, C, right? So if this is a 5, 3, 5, if this is going to be a huge expanded flat, it still does lend to the idea that we are going to be making a new high. So this is one thing that I'm definitely keeping my eye on, and I'll be looking to close off a little bit of profit somewhere above $1, anywhere between $1 and $1.50. I'll probably close half of my position, because at that point, I mean, Cardano is going to, have gone up significantly since this touch here at the 50 at 21 cents, right? Even at $1, that's about 300%. Now, keep in mind that we just measured this earlier. That move was about 17,000%. 17,720%. Not really expecting that from this move right here. From this move here at 21 cents up to $5, that's only 2,500% comparatively speaking to the 17,000% before. As markets mature, your return is going to diminish on runs that happen after the major runs that happen first. So typically you'll have a move that has a significant gain, and then the second move will have a smaller one, and so on and so forth. And that is also true for Bitcoin as well. There's no surprise there. All right, so now that we've done this, let's measure this one more time in a different way. I'm using my trend-based fib extension tool, and I'm going to take it from this COVID low here to the all-time high here, and then I'm going to go back down to this 50. Okay, so something I want to point out is when you're measuring this, use the 618 as a guideline for your first stop. And that's sitting right there at about $5 and $5.42. I'm going to mark that. I'm marking them so that I can remove the fib pulls, but I know where they came from. I know they came from fib targets. Now, there is a target that's sitting up here that does not seem logical. It does not seem reasonable. And this is at $40. I'll put it there because that is the 100% equality target, but I really don't expect it to go that far. If it does, that is absolutely insane and ridiculous. It's certainly possible for it to go there. But what would need to happen for Cardano to actually go to $40, right? So if you're taking a look at Bitcoin, right, let me just pull out my calculator here. If you're taking a look at Bitcoin at roughly $65,000, and you want Cardano to be at $40, let's see here, so $40 divided by 64,000. Yeah, so Cardano would need to go to 0.0006 roughly versus Bitcoin in order to get there. So can it do that? Let's take a look. Take a look at Cardano versus Bitcoin. And this is assuming Bitcoin at $64,000. All right, so let me pull this up here and just take a look. So we're looking at 0.006. All right, so let me get my zeros here. Cardano would need to go all the way up to Oblivion. So let's see here. Let's do this again. Let me use a different exchange that has a little more history here. Okay, 0006. So this right here has 4 zeros. So we're talking about a move that would need to go all the way up to 0006, which is right here. Now, is that feasible? Okay, well, let's just go ahead and measure this just like we did Cardano, and just to see if this is anything that is possible at all. So it is possible that it gets there, but I would say the probability is really pretty small. So for now, what I would focus more on is less on Cardano potentially going to $40, because I would say that that is your pie in the sky target. I don't really think it's going to go there. I would look more towards the area of $5 to $10. And of course, we're sitting here at 70 cents. So if it goes to $5, if it goes to $10, I mean, you're talking about exponential gains. And so we'll watch and see what happens over the course of the next few months. But I would say for right now, aside from the short-term targets that we've got here between $1 and $1.40, longer term, I would say that there is a high degree of probability if the bull run continues and alts do get their time, and I do believe that they will, and it's more than likely going to be in this cycle that they're going to have a significant gain. We're going to be watching to see how this pulls back, you know, where it goes, where it pulls back, to determine where that next target is going to be. And if this has a move that suggests that we go past $5, past $6, and we do go to $10, well, that's going to become my primary target. But I still don't believe that Cardano is in a place where it can go all the way up to 40. I don't think that that is a reasonable target. And to be quite honest, I don't know that I would have the patience or the willpower to let it all go up there. I would probably only leave like maybe 20% of my position to go all the way up to $40 if we get up here to that $10, $11 mark. Now, granted, once it gets through that, it's probably a quick move up to 40. So if it gets through this, it's probably going to move very, very fast. But I wouldn't use that as a primary target. You know, if you're in Cardano, I would say watch out to see what happens between $1 and $1.40. Look to see how it pulls back. Have some patience. Wait for the setup. And then take that trade to see how things materialize on the move to the upside. All right, that's really it. I wanted to keep this real simple, 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops on this. Waves still look good on the weekly chart. Waves still look great. If this white wave gets all the way up here into the overbought territory, just like it did back here, exercise caution. If it starts to curl down and it makes a new high like it did here, have even more caution, because that's your indication that you should probably be looking to get out. Look for bearish divergence on high time frames for crypto to make that determination on when you get out. Bottoms do tend to be a little bit of an event, but tops, they take time. They do take time. Even the bubble pop in 2017, 2018, it took time. It took time for that to materialize. And especially it happened, when we had the last top. The last top that we had at 64 to 69,000, that took time. That took a couple months. So you're going to have time to figure out if the run is over. So if you need help with any of that, as you all know, you can always find me. You can DM me on TradingView, DM me on Twitter, find me on our Discord server. And to get access to Discord, to get access to our trades, to get access to my portfolio, because I keep my portfolio open for everyone to to see, not the size, but my percent allocation for all of the assets that I'm currently in. And when I got into them, I post all of my trades in real time. I don't hide things. I'm very, very open when it comes to my crypto trades, and my options trading as well. Those are all posted in real time. If you need access to any of that, you can find all that information on bitdoctor.org, or send me a DM. Ask. I'm more than happy to help in any way that I can. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. So wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, a good night, and a great evening. Take care, everyone.